Hi, hello, good morning, good evening to all of you, those who are watching us. So, StoryAunty Neena is back again with Spectrum the Awareness Project at Power of Storytelling. As we all know, the theme for this year is social safe space, safe social space for all. So, we have been discussing or narrating stories. You've heard different storytellers narrating stories on various aspects from old age, child, school, different angles. We have been looking for safe social spaces. Today, we have with us a known storyteller who is very calm, peaceful, composed, who believes in the power of what do you call healing, and stories are magic. So, without any delay, let me welcome today our storyteller, Priyanka. Welcome, Priyanka. Thank you so much for joining us. So, before I ask you to take over, let me introduce Priyanka. So, Priyanka Sagar Maheshwari is a distinguished storyteller, communication coach, and theatre in education practitioner with over 20 years of professional experience. She has empowered over 2,700 educators and 5,000 plus children across India and internationally. Wow, that's a huge number. An ambassador of hope and NeuroUnity Impact Catalyst, Priyanka collaborates with leading NGOs, schools, and higher education institutions to leverage storytelling as a strategic tool for building awareness, fostering compassion, and strengthening a sense of belonging. Her narratives on inclusion and acceptance engage young audience with ease while offering adults an opportunity for reflection, mindfulness, and meaningful connection. So I think it's all that we are looking for. So well, once again, thank you, Priyanka, for joining, and we are eagerly looking forward to listening to you. And thereafter, we'll reflect upon this story. I have something after you done the storytelling. So all yours now. Thank you.
Thank you, Neena. Thank you so much. What a beautiful day. Welcome to everyone here. And I'm very grateful to Spectrum the Awareness Project for bringing me here today to connect with all of you. I truly believe that I do not choose the story chooses me. And I bring to you today the gift that I have received. Sit back, relax, and see what the story is whispering to you. A long time ago, almost 2,600 years ago, there was a king, a famous, prosperous, rich king. He was indeed a good king. And इस राजा की एक आदत थी. He was very fond of helping the people in his kingdom. हर बार वो अपने राज्य के सब लोगों को बुलाता. And in his court came people who had different troubles. If somebody had a financial crisis, he used to give the golden usher fees to them. अगर किसी को कोई मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम होती तो राजा अपने वैद्य से इलाज कराते. हर बार जिसे भी समस्या थी used to run and come to the court of this king. Then, you know what happened? ये हर कहानी में ट्विस्ट क्यों होता है नीना? Slowly, the king realized that the people who were coming to his court were reducing in number. That's strange. क्या मेरे राज्य में लोगों को परेशानियां होनी कम हो गई? कुछ समझ नहीं पाए राजा जी. पर हौले हौले धीरे धीरे आने वाले लोग जो अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स लेके आ रहे थे उनका नंबर घटता जा रहा था. Now the king was troubled. उन्होंने मंत्री को बुलाया. मंत्री से पता चला कि वहां उस राज्य में जंगल में कोई साधु आए हैं. It was then that the king decided that he would himself go in the forest to see who the saint was. He called for his chariot with the horses in his kingdom. He picked up his favorite silken scarf and up He went on the chariot. तेज दौड़ रहे थे घोड़े, और जो गुस्सा समाया था राजा में, ऐसा लगता था मानो उन घोड़ों ने पहचान लिया कि आज राजन गुस्से में है. The golden brown hair of the horses, they were going back in the wind. And there reached the king in the forest. Under a huge giving tree sat none other than the Buddha, with his eyes half closed and half open, like the lotus petals, with a simple, soft smile on his lips. He sat there. Raja was shocked. Do you know why he was shocked? He was shocked to see so many people from his kingdom sitting there right in front of the Buddha. And not just people from his kingdom. हैरान तो वो इसलिए थे क्योंकि उनके घर के सदस्य, his family members were also sitting there in front of Prabhu. He was furious, he was angry. जैसे मानो बुद्ध ने कुछ चुरा लिया हो उनसे. राजा का गुस्सा लोग पहचानते थे. धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले वहां से चले गए. अब कौन बचा? बुद्ध और राजा. राजा उतरे और बोले, तुम हो कौन? तुम्हारे कपड़े देखकर तो तुम स्वयं भिखारी लगते हो. तुम क्या समस्या दूर करोगे? मैं राजा हूं. बुद्ध just smiled and softly took the scarf from the neck of the king. मैं तुमसे क्या बात कर रहा हूं? राजन, ये क्या है? मैं तुम्हें अपनी परेशानी बता रहा हूं. तुम्हें बता रहा हूं कि सभी लोग, मेरे घर के लोग भी तुम्हारे पास आ रहे. तुम पूछ रहे हो क्या है? क्या है? स्कार्फ है, और क्या है? बुद्ध continued to smile as the furious king was still saying things. Slowly, Buddha started making some knots in the scarf. And while the king continued with his furious anger, Buddha kept at what he was doing. राजा, अब क्या है ये? कमाल करते हैं आप. मैं आपसे इतनी जरूरी बात कर रहा हूं, कभी पूछते हैं कि ये स्कार्फ है? नॉट्स हैं, और क्या? गांठें हैं. बिल्कुल राजन, यही तो फर्क है तुम में और मुझ में. When people come to you, you look at their knots. And when they come to me, I still look at the silken scarf in them. And that is the difference.
Wonderful. The way you mentioned that when people come to me, I look at the scarf and you look at the knot. Yes, the king was looking at the knots, not at the scarf, and trying to cover all, clear all the knots by himself. And Buddha was looking at the scarf so that people realize how they should come out of the knot. So that was so, what do you call, in profound message, and the way to realize that acceptance is also very, very much needed to, find our own safe spaces. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So what I wanted to tell the audience is when we were talking about our ABCD card of inclusion, we were talking A for awareness. And there was another thing, what we said is A is for acceptance as well. So here, Buddha was trying to tell the king that to let the people accept how they are so that
Yes.
they create their own safe space. I hope I'm taking it in the right direction.
Yes, Neena, you're very beautifully summarizing. Just to add to that, if I may, it is
Yeah.
not just the acceptance by the people. The way the Buddha is recognizing the silken part of the scarf,
Hmm.
it is as if we focus on the silk
Hmm.
or on the knots.
Very true.
And the energy will just flow
Flow.
wherever we are focusing.
Hmm.
So every time I would say this story, it would speak with me. It is an acceptance of us
Hmm.
as probably the caregivers,
Yeah.
our own acceptance.
Yes.
I'm sure such lovely people have been coming on this forum. A lot would have been spoken about. You can't pour from an empty cup.
True.
Our own acceptance, the acceptance of others for what they are, and
Hmm.
not just the knots. See, the
Hmm.
challenges will never finish. I'm
Hmm.
sure you would agree. Everyone here will have challenges. But can we just park the challenges aside and give the credit to the beauty?
Hmm.
I want to ask everyone who's here and you and Shivali as a facilitator. There is a slow movement when we go from sympathy to empathy and compassion.
Hmm.
What do you think is the difference between sympathy and empathy?
The same way Buddha said, you're looking at the knot. So knot is sympathy, and empathy is when you are looking at the scar. So that is for me. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Anybody coming with anything in the comments?
yeah, I'm just going through that only. So I'll just quickly read out. Rashmi, Padma Priya, they are all watching you. And Rashmi says, such a vast experience and our good fortune to have you join hands with us in creating awareness. And Padma Priya says, such a soothing voice and very calm way of narration, says Rashmi. Sushma says, welcome Priyanka. And Rashmi says, no wonder serenity. And also we have, one second, I'm just scrolling. Nice use of prop, like the way you use the scarf, your voice modulation,
Thank you.
and also Swati Sinha says captivating.
Wow.
Rash- yeah, and Rashmi again says such profound story, realizing your own innate ability and power. Meenakshi ma'am is also watching. She says, "बहुत सुंदर."
I'm
Veena
blessed.
ma'am says, such a soothing voice and a beautiful message, Priyanka. Loved it so much. Yes, same says Purnima Amma, our younger storyteller. Such
Wow.
a soft, sweet voice. And Rashmi says, very healing. Swati says, the outlook makes the difference. So this is the comment for the last question that you asked. And Deepa says, so soothing. आपके बात करने के अंदाज में जो ठहराव है काबिले तारीफ है says Deepa.
Oof, let me give some storytelling claps to everyone who's joined here on this platform.
Yeah.
Ninaji, see exactly the practical angle. They are all looking at the silken scarf, and I'm blessed that they are not able to see the knots or they're ignoring the knots. We
Yes.
are all flawed.
Uh,
But yes, coming back to a very important lesson that we must all keep reminding ourselves, and that is whenever we talk about sympathy, it is as if the person who is sympathizing has lifted himself up, like that. The
mm,
moment we say help,
mm,
help, the word
mm,
help will
mm,
flow from top to something lower. So the king was a good one indeed who wanted to help with finances and with everything that he had, but he was up.
mm,
And the moment, how we use the phrase to put yourself in somebody's shoes,
mm. Yes.
the level nudges.
Yes.
And that, as you rightly said, is when we empathize.
Empathize.
Now, may I take you slowly and subtly to the next stage, and
Yes.
that is compassion. Once we have covered the journey from sympathy to empathy,
Empathy.
we are moving towards even a more beautiful space. And
Mm.
that, my dear friends, is compassion.
Yes.
I would like to bring the little knowledge that I have gathered from all coaches and all mentors out there for us.
Mm.
I firmly believe that even if we realize the person's pain and suffering, It is the moment when we are able to be in the joy, not just in the sorrow, not just in the pain, is when we raise ourselves to compassion. Are you able to look at the joy of the child or anybody around you with the equal keenness and the equal love? You feel you are the mother and you are giving everything that you can, and you feel that person's pain.
Hmm.
Can you participate in the joy as much?
Yes.
A
Yes.
big heart for everyone, including me, who are trying hard to stay with this
There
lesson.
are, yes, there is lots of comments based on this. I'll quickly read. Uh, Everyone has a Buddha nature, says Rashmi. Veena ma'am says accepting people as they are is so important. And we need to pause and maybe look at that nature. That's what Rashmi says. Rupali says very soothing voice. Purnima ma says beautiful way of explaining, loving this. Padma Priya says being in other shoe is empathy. And Meenakshi ma'am says बहुत ही सुंदर कहानी के जरिए आपने मैसेज दिया मतलब बहुत सुंदर स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज दिया. And Rashmi says, Buddha nature is one with compassion, and each one has that. Ranjana says, lovely story. Knowing is not enough. Understanding what is beneath brings in so much difference. Very rightly said. And Sri Vidya Shiv, uh, okay. So, ma'am, it's not a recorded, it's live. You can watch it later because she's eager to hear it from the beginning. Yes, you can watch it soon later. And very beautifully hosted. Rupali says India has always been a place where we had great people who always promoted peace. Very true.
Very true.
Wonderful, beautifully explained. So, one thing that I want to ask you is when we were discussing about the story, the theme, safe space.
Yes.
So, what was that insight or inspiration that made you pick up this story?
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for asking that. That is a question that I asked myself also. That what is the story telling me? And just as we were discussing, a little before the session, if I revisit the story after 2 months, the story will bring out some new colors and new dimensions even for me. So,
Mm.
like somebody in the comments, I'm forgetting the name, said that we all have it in us. We all have the compassion in us. Absolutely true. Absolutely bull's eye. What are we doing? As storytellers, we are removing the dust, just dusting away the self doubt, just dusting away what the world has got us with our judgment and their judgment. And when we throw that away, we are our true selves. We are united with the Buddha within us. So
Correct.
I think choosing this story is a way of reminding myself that definitely it is easier said than done. Every moment we have to keep reminding. But I would like to say this Hindi phrase which is very close to my heart. And it goes like, कार्य कठिन है, कार्य कठिन है, इसीलिए तो करने योग्य है.
बहुत बहुत सही कहा है. ब्यूटिफुल लाइंस. कार्य कठिन है इसीलिए तो.
करने योग्य है. It is worth
Very.
doing. Who
Yes.
says this is easy? It is
It's not
not easy.
not easy.
Nobody's challenges are easy,
Yes.
but we can accept it, no?
Yeah.
Rather than fighting with it.
Very true. I think Rashmi was the one who said that, we have compassion that brings safe space.
Thank you,
And
Rashmi.
Purnima Amma says that it all depends on and how you bring out your empathy towards others. So well said. I'm so happy that, we had you today here. How beautifully you have been putting each points, your insights. It was truly amazing. And there is more comments coming. So you can go through those comments and
Sure.
reflect upon those. So we
You know,
have
Nina, I always say that every session where I get an opportunity to conduct or be a speaker or share something, I'm richer by the end of that session, because it is like the story ties an invisible red thread. It connects all of us, and with the comments and the sharing that is done, we leave richer.
Yes, absolutely. That,
Yes.
yeah, every moment, every session makes us more and more richer. It's like an opportunity to know more of ourselves and, you know, understand what others value for. Very rightly said. And the thing that I liked very much is the way you connected both the language, the flow. You didn't break it went so well. Hand by hand, you were doing Hindi, English, and that's also one thing that, helps the audience connect also. So thank you for doing this so well. Any other reflections that you would like to?
Yes, yes. One little thing that I want to share. And if you really agree with me, everyone here, please give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. मेरी माँ हमेशा कहती थी कि प्यार और नॉलेज बांटने से सिर्फ बढ़ता है, घटता नहीं है।
Correct.
आई रिपीट, प्यार और नॉलेज जितना बांटेंगे उतना बढ़ेगा। So this is not my story. This is not somebody's story. These stories, if they were visible, they are there in the air. हवा में है वो।
Hmm.
Had they, अगर उनका कोई रंग होता तो शायद हमें उड़ती हुई दिखती।
Hmm.
एंड आई रियली विश कि ये स्टोरी हम आगे पास कर सकें टू द नेक्स्ट जनरेशंस, दे
Hmm.
डोंट गेट लॉस्ट।
Hmm.
एंड आज यहाँ पर 1200 1300 1400 लोगों में से अगर मैं किसी एक के दिल को भी
Hmm.
सच में छू सकी हूँ, then it has been an absolutely successful attempt from my side.
Yes, yes, we can see that. Rupali says, बस अपने दिल में झांक कर देखिए. सही कहा प्रियंका. And Veena ma'am has given a thumbs up and love for what
Thank
you
you, Veena
said.
ma'am.
You are absolutely a healer, says Rashmi. And Swati says, nicely paced session, Priyanka. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us and enlightening us with such a beautiful story in your own way and explaining it so well. So looking forward to many such joinings. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone who has been here and is leaving me richer. Thank you, Shivali ma'am. Thank you to this platform. Thank you, Neena.
Thank you. So, to our audience, so after this, we'll be coming up with yet another enlightening session next Tuesday with our beautiful host again. So, until then, reflect on what you hear and then stay safe, stay happy. Goodbye.